Hello, this is James Arthur Ray. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Harmonic Wealth. If you know anything about me and my life, then you know I've had a very adventuresome life, to say the least. Now, you may not think it's adventuresome, but it's been adventuresome nonetheless. A couple of things. I went from absolute obscurity to a high degree of notoriety in the personal development arena. And my New York Times bestseller, Harmonic Wealth, was translated into 18 languages, distributed in 81 countries. It went to the top of the list in the first 5 days. So it was not only a New York Times bestseller nationally, but it was an international sensation as well. There was a period of time where I was in high demand from the media. I was on Larry King twice. I was on the Oprah Show twice. And for a while, I was on the Today Show just about once a month. I had offers for my own television show from various media outlets. I was on a roll. I was blessed to lead, develop, and create a team, a high-performing team, one of the best. In fact, in 2009, my company and my team hit the Inc. 500. You've heard of them, I'm sure. One of the fastest growing, most successful privately held companies in the entire United States. I was at the highest of highs. But again, if you know anything about me, I've also been to the lowest of lows. Those things turned around in a second. In October of 2009, I lost 3 people that I really, really care about. Now, if you've ever lost anyone, you know how that feels. The anguish of that alone would have been enough. But it didn't stop there. The state of Arizona decided to prosecute it as a crime. It was the first time in the history of the United States of America that consenting adults participated in a legal activity. There was an accident that happened and it was prosecuted as a crime. The first time. I was in shock. All the legal authorities told me this will never be prosecuted as a crime, and yet it was. During that entire process, I lost the business that it took me 20 years to build, working 14, 16-hour days, 7 days a week. Maybe you can relate to that. I lost my reputation. That really hurt because I was very attached to it, which I shouldn't have been, but I was. I lost my life savings, which created a tremendous amount of fear. I lost my home, and eventually I lost my freedom. There's a lot more to that. But you see, I'm not telling you this story because it's about me. It's not about me. It's about you. Have you ever had a time in your life where you felt like life just was throwing something at you that was way too much to handle? Have you ever felt that way? You see, the point is we all feel that way. There are things in life that we can't control. As much as we want to think that we can control things, particularly in personal and spiritual development, we think that if we think a certain way, feel a certain way, or if we learn certain skills and techniques, we can control external circumstances. You can't. And you know you can't. That's never worked for you. It never will. But what you can do is influence external circumstances. What you can control is your experience of those circumstances. Does that make sense to you? So I'm telling you this story because it's about you. It's about the human experience. Life is going to throw you curveballs, but curveballs can be hit. Let me ask you, what differentiates the individual who loses their business like I did, loses their life savings like I did, loses people you love and care about like I did, maybe you have as well, loses their reputation? The list is endless. And they step in front of a train or they just give up. Those things happen. You've heard about this, you've read about it, maybe you even know someone yourself who's experienced this. What differentiates that person who quits from the person who gets up after those things, 1, 2, 3 of them occur, and in the same amount of pain, the same amount of anguish, decides to continue forward? You see, I submit to you that there are common characteristics of those people who continue forward. And if you check history, you'll realize that people that make the most massive impact, that have the strongest influence in the world, Those people who change history don't have an easier life. Please, whatever you do, don't wish for an easier life. That's illusion. Wish for greater capacity and capability to get through the challenges life brings. Did you follow that? You see, it's not meant to be easy. If it were easy, then everybody would be a master. Everybody would be at the top of their game. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be meaningful. And so why am I chatting with you here? Well, because you see, over the last year that I've been back sharing and teaching and mentoring, I've shared a lot of my experiences, both with the highs and the lows, because you see, I've experienced a great amount of learning and expansion, if you will, at both the peak and the pit. Yes, both. Because in the peak, you learn things that you won't in the pit, and in the pit, you learn things that you won't at the peak. Both of those experiences and both of those extremes bring us a tremendous amount of awakening and awareness and capability. But here's what I know. It's in the crucible of challenge that we potentially become our best. Those are the times where we step back, we reassess, we realign, we reaccess what's important to us, and we begin again more intelligently. So I don't know where you are in your life right now. You might be saying, well, James, I'm not facing any challenges. Great, great. Give it time, right? Because challenges are a part of life, and challenges are the things that make us grow, like pushing yourself in the gym to get one more rep, two more reps. If you've ever been an athlete, you know it's those difficulties that cause you to grow bigger, stronger, wiser, faster. Maybe you're at the peak right now. I can help you because I've been there. I know what it takes. You see, there are certain strategies and techniques at the peak or on the climb. The strategies at the peak are different than on the climb. The strategies in the pit are different than at the peak. Does that make sense to you? You see, the gift that life has given me is the gift of polarity. I've been at both extremes and everything in between. And I've learned how to function. And I've learned how to not only survive, but to thrive. I do a small amount of mentoring, and I've been doing that since I've been back for the last year. It's always via Skype. But we've decided to do a very special event. My team and me together have decided to put together a live group mentoring experience. Now, if you were to work with me one-on-one, that's great. I can only do a limited amount of that. If you're interested, we can talk. You can talk with my team. However, I can guarantee you that what we put together, we're calling Harmonic Wealth Group Mentoring Live. It's going to be a small group of individuals where, regardless of whether you're at the peak or the pit or anywhere in between, I can share with you the strategies. You know, you want a New York Times bestseller? I can tell you how to do that. But there's many people that can tell you how to do that. But how many people can tell you how to do that and build an Inc. 500 business? There's a lot of people who can tell you how to build an Inc. 500 business. But can they also tell you what to do when life rips the rug out from under you? You see, it's the diversity of experiences in life that makes a mentor magical for you. I don't know, you choose what works best for you, but I guarantee you the small investment you'll make for Harmonic Wealth Group Mentoring Live is a fraction of what it would cost to work with me one-on-one via Skype. It's a fraction of what it's worth compared to what you'll accomplish, not only in your results in your business, but also in your level of passion, influence, fulfillment, and true wealth. Now, why is it called Harmonic Wealth Group Mentoring? Because harmonic wealth is true wealth. You know, most people in our world define wealth as money. That's not true. You can be really, really financially wealthy, and it doesn't mean you'll be wealthy. You can go after the money and get rich. It doesn't mean you'll be wealthy. Now, there's nothing wrong with money, but it's only 1/5 of the equation. You see, my New York Times bestseller, Harmonic Wealth, talks about a state of harmony and well-being in the 5 key areas of your life, the 5 pillars. And that's how I work. Because you see, it's the financial, the relational, the mental, physical, spiritual. It's those pillars, when they're in harmony, that create the strength and the fortitude to continue. I guarantee you that it was harmonic wealth that kept me going. True wealth Because true wealth is not what you have in the external world. True wealth is what you're left with when all you have is gone. That's where the rubber meets the road. And so that's how I will always mentor you from a perspective of harmony and well-being across the 5 pillars, the 5 key areas: financial, relational, mental, physical, and spiritual. I can help you in those areas. You can read below all the different things we'll talk about and what we'll learn. You can read below the very small investment. You know, if you have to purchase an airline ticket to get there, I guarantee you the price of admission plus an airline ticket is a fraction comparatively to what you'll get in return in your life, in your business, in your fulfillment, in every single area. So look below if you'd like. The seats are limited. We want the group to be small because I want to be able to talk with you one-on-one. I want to be able to move in different directions. This is not a seminar. It's a mentoring session where you bring your questions and challenges from the peak, from the climb, from the pit. And I will tell you everything. I will share with you the best that I have from all of those perspectives and how to not only survive, but to thrive. I hope to meet you soon. Read below, click below, talk to one of my team members, and join us in Harmonic Wealth Group Mentoring Live. You'll be glad that you did. Thanks so much for listening. Until I talk with you face to face, stay awake, love life, and be epic.